Boulder police are investigating a sideswipe mayhem that happened Wednesday night on University Hill. Officers say a large tour bus hit multiple parked cars along 3 blocks, and thankfully all the cars were empty. No one was hurt. But as Denver 7's CB Cotton reports, those left with damage worry for their wallets.
Pleasant Street on University Hill in Boulder became not so pleasant on Wednesday night.
This is not real life. Every single car got hit on the block.
Officers and students taking to the neighborhood College Street to scope out what happened.
Guys, at least we're all in it together.
Boulder police announcing the next day at least 32 parked cars had been sideswiped by a large tour bus. Zoelle Madison's car among those left with damage.
I was completely shocked. I was horrified. I couldn't imagine that someone had damaged so many cars, including my own, so badly and just drove off.
The students who live here on Pleasant Street tell me a lot of the cars which were damaged have already been towed. Some of them are still here, and the ones that are in pretty bad shape.
My back tire is completely flat. There's a huge dent in the back of my car. Both of my lights and taillights are broken.
Home surveillance captured the moment the bus drove through the street. Now, officers say the bus driver faces several counts of hit and run and careless driving. Denver 7 looked up court records for the 73-year-old driver and found at least 4 traffic violations entered into a guilty plea. We reached out to the bus company for more details, but received no response.
Quite a few cars.
Eli Benjamin's car was also damaged. He suspects the unplowed, icy road caused the problem.
And that leaves our street like an ice skating rink. It's dangerous to drive, it's dangerous to walk.
The city of Boulder tells Denver 7 this portion of Pleasant Street impacted by the sideswiping doesn't fall under the city's residential street plowing program. Students here left hoping that will change.
I think the biggest thing is that this whole deal is a headache for everyone. It's a time-consuming headache.
In Boulder, I'm CB Cotton, Denver 7.
And Boulder police say if you think your car was among those hit, contact the department's accident report specialist. The number there on your screen, 720-601-4228.
A standoff between police and a bank robbery suspect in Greenwood Village ended peacefully after hours of negotiation. Greenwood Village police say this robbery was reported at Key Bank on East Arapahoe Road about 10:30 this morning. The suspect escaped, allegedly exchanged gunfire with officers before running and holding up in a room at the Extended Stay America. He surrendered peacefully after 3.5 hours of negotiations. Nobody was hurt, and the suspect's identity has not yet been released.
Colorado's Attorney General Phil Weiser announced a multi-state settlement with CarMax auto superstores over failure to disclose safety recalls. Now, this stems from an investigation that the company didn't alert customers about safety issues in used vehicles. CarMax must now include links to any open recalls on cars they sell and present customers with that information before finalizing sales.
Fort Collins is rolling out a new Safe Choice program to discourage drunken driving. Now, downtown visitors now will be able to just leave their vehicles parked overnight without being ticketed. Drivers have to scan a QR code on a street sign and fill out a form with their car's information.
Prices at the pump continue to plunge. I checked Gas Buddy, showing several gas stations actually dipping below the $3 mark. The lowest reported was at Costco on Washington Street in Thornton, just $2.38. And for those without a store membership, you can find gas for $2.73 at the Circle K on Parker Road in Parker.
Reports of fires and trespassing on RTD light rail tracks causing concern because of both the risk for those on trains and for those living in homeless camps.
But now, before RTD police go out to remove a camp, Denver 7's Rob Harris introduces us to a new face talking to unhoused one by one, connecting them with long-term help.
Our light rails go through at 55 miles per hour. At those speeds and that kind of weight, it's very dangerous for an individual to be by those tracks.
For about a year now, Alton Reynolds has been donning his blue Jefferson Center vest, grabbing a handful of business cards and bags full of supplies, and then heading out along the tracks of RTD.
Working with our operators for RTD, they immediately identify that there is a danger each and every time they're driving past through here. If you get hit by a train, you don't have a chance of getting out of that one most of the time. But if I look at the community and we're trying to put you in a safe spot, if you get into a shelter and there's somebody feeding you and keeping you warm, That's much better. Me, I walk out to those communities, to these encampments to start that conversation.
Reynolds comes into the role with two relevant perspectives. One as a counselor and the other as a former RTD driver himself.
As a bus operator, one thing I realized for myself, I had homeless individuals who got on my bus. That's an hour and a half of warmth versus being kicked off because they smell strong or that they don't look like that other person on the bus. You learn on the job that, hey, let me change my perspective, not to immediately say you need to be off the bus, but find out why you need to be on this bus. We're going to talk to everybody and try to make sure everybody is as safe as possible, okay?
With permission, we listen to his conversation with Carly, a woman who's currently unhoused and is living near an RTD line.
Okay.
Reynolds visits to warn of safety risks and offer up connections to housing, food, and mental health services before a possible clearing of the camp happens. Sometimes he gets interest.
Give me a call, I'll be happy to respond, okay?
And sometimes he doesn't. But either way, he plans a follow-up visit.
If our whole community knows about it, those who are struggling and those who are looking at the struggle, if we all are aware of it and we all put our skin in the game, maybe we'll find solutions rather than pointing at the problem and saying it's in our backyard.
For Denver 7, I'm Rob Harris.
And we've often reported that this homelessness crisis is growing in part because of rising rent, evictions, lack of affordable housing. But our partners at Newsy found that how people view the unhoused could also be part of the problem. New York's Shams DeBaron was homeless for most of his life. And today, he's using his experience to change how we view this.
Housing, according to the United Nations, is a human right. So why are we allowing this? This makes no sense. This is a crisis, and this should be addressed with the understanding that housing is a human right.
To learn more about the perspectives and solutions to homelessness, you can stream this entire episode of In Real Life right now. It's on newsy.com.
Keeping memories from fading away.
Pretty much help her as she's getting dressed.
The state's plan that could be the beginning of a new era for Alzheimer's treatment.
Colorado's home is officially decked out.
This place is a source of pride for the whole state.
We'll take you inside its grand return, lit up in holiday glory.